Come
on, then. What? How about you? You're indeed brave tonight, but the fight is mine.
Oh, and enough, eh?
Look, you stupid.
Ranker
You've got the
ranks
left. Yes, I have. Look.
Just a flesh wound.
What is up? Welcome in. We are in search of the Holy Grail here in week 10. But just like the Black Knight, we're missing a few limbs, my man, because of all of the injuries and everything else going on. But look, this is the double FU, the FU times 2, the fantasy football universe. I am Jeremy Schulman. This is Adjust the Ranks. This is our ranking show with, of course, Ryan Prosek on the other side of the mic. Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Ready for week 10. People are, like you said, we talked about before the show, they're starting to tap out a little bit. Dynasty rosters are looking a little rough. I have a couple of rebuilders as well as, maybe those people are tapping out, but there's always value to be had. Keep with the program. You got this. We believe in you.
Absolutely. Look, it's that time of year. We're all feeling the push here to do other things, especially if our teams are falling by the wayside and we're losing guys left and right. Bucky Irving seems like he's never going to come back at this point, but hey, it is what it is. But hey, some of us like Jamie in these streets are always ready to go. Jamie, we appreciate you. Was on Jamie's show yesterday. They did an early show for me in the afternoon because it's 10 p.m. here in Amsterdam. But it was a great show. I really appreciate it. Jamie, drop the show link in the chat if you like. Go over and check that show out as well. Not just for myself, but of course for Steve and Jamie. Some really good insights, of course, on the offensive side, but on the defensive side as well. We talk about weekly streamers. We talk about the guys that you want to grab this week. So always appreciate Jamie jumping in here and appreciate his content as well. Really quickly, don't want to do too much with this, but of course we got a Discord. We'd love to have you in there. It's in our link tree. You just go to Twitter, you click on the link, you click in, you're invited. Come on, hop in our Discord and join us, talk ball with everybody at the Double FU. And of course, Double FU is the promo code. If you've never tried Fast Draft before, now is the best time than ever. And you get a free $25 on us still if you use that code, as long as you pay $25. So up to $25 first deposit match. Hey, whatever, man. We're trying to get any and every advantage here in fantasy. And it's week 10. Just go to IDP Center on YouTube here, on Twitter. It is there. Jamie, appreciate you. All right. So let's get into these rankings and talk a little bit about it. But actually, wait a minute. First, we got a game tonight. We have a game that should not be competitive at all, but these division games get a little rowdy. We're in Denver. The Raiders are coming to town. Ryan, what the hell's going to happen tonight?
See, you're right. It should be a Denver Broncos blowout. You're absolutely correct. But we've seen some weird Thursday night games. The Minnesota Chargers one was the only one in the past couple of weeks that have gone the way they should go, honestly. But like you said, Thursday, interdivision, I think we're in for some shenanigans tonight, if I'm being honest with you.
Probably. And let's start on the Raider side of the ball because that's kind of more interesting given the Jacoby Myers trade. Myers out of town. I'm not trusting anybody. I think you're probably with me outside of the big names. We're not trusting Deontay Thornton. We're not trusting Jack Besh, which is everybody's darling name right now. We're not trusting Tyler Lockett, although he's probably the sneakiest of this other bunch. But Brock Bowers should probably smash even in a tough matchup. Ashton Genty is going to get all the work he can handle. And Geno Smith might be sneaky, but without Patrick Surtain on the other side of the football. How do you feel about these three guys for fantasy? And are you comfortable firing them up on Thursday night?
I mean, you have to with Brock Bowers. You have no other choice. Yep. It feels good to have no other choice, though, if I'm being honest.
It does.
Ashton Genty, you hit on it. He's going to get all the work.
Yeah.
Is it going to matter, though? How quick are they going to get down? Is it going to be competitive? Who knows what, is really going to shake out here, because they are plus 430 on the money line. And so they're probably going to be down really quick. If it all goes according to plan, that is. I have an RB14 because you got to account for that volume. We said it last week. We accounted for that volume against the Chiefs, and then nothing happened. Got in the end zone, though, against the Jaguars in a tough matchup. So I like Ashton Genty, firing him up. And then Geno. I got to move Geno up because I think Geno is sneaky good.
Yeah.
I have him down at 27. I want to move him up into the high 20s or low 20s, whatever you want to call it. because I think Brock Bowers unlocked everything for that offense. Like Geno Smith, we talked about it. He looked horrendous.
Yeah.
But last week he showed some steps of improvement, and it helps when Brock Bowers catches 3 touchdowns. But
listen, Pete Carroll even came out and talked about Brock Bowers unlocking the offense and adding a different dimension. No shit, but it's kind of what we were thinking. It's what we expected to see, and we're happy to see it. Talking about seeing things, let's see this right here. If you look at the Denver Broncos across the board, here's what we're dealing with. Now, again, no Patrick Surtain, but giving up the third fewest here, fantasy points to quarterbacks, the 7th fewest fantasy points to running backs, the least amount of fantasy points to wide receivers, and not doing so great against tight end. Although if you're kind of looking at this, maybe the tight ends can beat them a little bit more. So some slight hope for Brock Bowers tonight. But yeah, it's not going to be super pretty for anyone on that side of the ball. And like you said, Geno, a little concern there, but he should be ranked a little bit higher, probably a mid to low end QB2 as opposed to a QB3 this week. Let's talk about the other side of the ball, though, because we have some interesting names, of course, against the Raiders defense. And we'll leave this up because we'll have a look at the Raiders real quick. Let's see. We got to scroll a lot. Where are we? Las Vegas. Nope. There we go. All right, so we can see they're kind of middle of the road against quarterbacks in terms of giving up fantasy points, middle of the road against running backs, but they're giving up a ton to wide receivers, and they're limiting tight ends, probably because they don't need to be used, but also because the middle of that field, Jeremy Chin, is really dominating on that defense. What do you think here about the wide receivers in this game? Of course, Courtland Sutton being shut down last week by Derek Stingley. We got everybody's darling, my darling, Troy Franklin. Marvin Mims is out again, so it's really just those two guys. And then Bo Nix and also the running game. What do you think about the Denver offensive players for fantasy in this game? Are you firing up everyone? Are you concerned about some people? How do you feel?
I mean, if everyone is Troy Franklin and Courtland Sutton, then yeah, I mean, yeah. I was surprised to see that Troy Franklin was out targeting him on the season. I didn't think we'd get that far that fast. I mean, I'm trying to see where I have Courtland Sutton. I'm at 15. I might want to bring him down and Troy Franklin up a little bit because
love it.
It feels like a Troy Franklin kind of game. He feels like he's kind of taken over the role. And, we always say that in Courtland Sutton posts. I forget what it was earlier in the season. It was like an 8 for 100 and 2 touchdowns. When everyone's like, oh, is Courtland Sutton washed? Yeah. No, he's not washed, but the offense is kind of tough there. They have a great matchup tonight, but I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves on Bo Nix.
You do feel like that because you were hating on Bo Nix, and I agree with you, but against Vegas, man. Really?
There's some matchups I like more out there that are sitting. Like I moved him down to 12, which is 5 below ECR. I have Jared Goff in an absolute smash match against Washington. He was ranked below him. Crush. Sam Darnold was below him. I know Arizona looks good. Walter Nolan kind of transformed that defense a little bit against Dallas, but I can't rank Sam Darnold below him. Matthew Stafford, how he's been slinging the ball, the same thing. So those are the guys that I moved ahead of Bo Nix. I moved him down 5 spots. So I think I have Baker Mayfield and Herbert above him as well. Herbert's the one where he's ECR 4 in the week. I have him down at 9. So yeah, he's the one I debated flipping Bo Nix with.
Yeah, that's super fair. We'll get into that in just a second. My last question for you is these running backs. I really want to start RJ Harvey. I know you got to start Dobbins at this point. RJ Harvey, I'm flexing him. What do you think this week?
Yeah, I totally agree. I believe he's coming off 2 RB1 finishes in the past 2 games.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if that's true for half PPR. Yeah. 6 and 9 the last 2 weeks for half PPR. He's been getting the touchdowns. He's just been getting the receiving work a little bit. Obviously, 5 targets, 5 receptions, 51 yards is nice. And the game against Dallas, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. He might be getting the role that people want.
I'm not ready to say it. I don't trust Sean Payton enough, but I am willing to flex RJ Harvey this week in this matchup. But RJ Harvey's proving he's everything that we expected him to be. It's just, will Sean Payton play a rookie full time? He didn't do it last year with Troy Franklin. Now Franklin's balling out. Hey, If anything else, go get RJ Harvey for next season. If you are in a rebuild in Dynasty, pay what you need to pay. That man is going to go off. But with all of that said, let's get into it right here. And let's talk about the quarterbacks. If I can deftly maneuver and switch things as I always try to do quickly. Nope, didn't do it. All right.
We're getting there.
We are. Listen, technology. Hey, what are you going to do? All right. You see it here. We got a top 12. We'll talk about it. You talked about Jared Goff. He's all the way up at 7 for me. So we got Josh Allen at 1, Drake May up at 2 against a Bucky-less, Godwin-less, most likely, Tampa Bay team in Tampa. Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Jackson Dart, Jared Goff. I had to put Dart over Goff in that matchup against the Bears. Knicks, Caleb, Baker, DJ, and Matthew Stafford. How do you feel about this top 12?
Yeah, I think we disagree the most on Drake May. I have him down at 6. I have him way below ECR. You know, he could be an MVP front runner at this point. He's not, obviously, because Patrick Mahomes is doing what he does, and obviously Josh Allen's still there and everything. But I kind of don't like this matchup with Tampa Bay. It kind of feels like a trap game for the Patriots. They're 7-2 right now, which is unreal. They're outperforming expectations.
They are.
People had them in the top of the draft class again. There's just something about this Tampa Bay defense that young quarterbacks. I have Caleb above them. That's probably the most controversial one. I have Dart up there too. I believe that game is going to absolutely just shoot out. I don't think either team's going to play a whole lot of defense. I'm more confident in the Giants playing defense instead of the Bears, obviously, after what we saw last week with Joe Flacco putting up almost 50 points. But yeah, Drake May's a little lower for me just because I like that Tampa Bay defense more than I like these other defenses up top.
Yeah, I hear that. And of course, Kayshon Boutte is out, so they need to reconfigure things. It didn't really hurt them last week in terms of production, but it hurt Drake May only to QB 16, his third lowest finish on the season for fantasy. That being said, I think they have the week. They're going to figure it out, and they're not going up against Atlanta. They're going up against Tampa. Tampa pretty middle of the road when it comes to giving up points to fantasy defenses. We know Drake May can run around, and we know Ramondre is, at this point, we don't have confirmation, but unlikely to play. If that's the case, we saw it last week. They're not going to be able to run the football. Drake May is just going to have to sling it around again. But yeah, it's a little risky because he's only averaging about 26 attempts per game over the last 5 games. So yeah, there's a bit of risk involved, but Tampa is a good offense. They should test New England. I think Drake May is going to have to chuck it, and we know he can do it with his legs. What do you think about Jackson Dart all the way up there? He's pretty much forced our hand here, or my hand. Do you have him this high, and are you comfortable with him over Goff this week?
Funny story. I'm higher.
Oh, nice.
I'm up at 4. I think he's forced our hand with a rushing upside. 100%. Like I just talked about with Chicago, they just gave up almost 50 points to Joe Flacco. I know Joe Flacco has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, who got 14 targets last week. I know Jackson Dart doesn't quite have that, but he was throwing. I don't want to say darts, but I was about to. I'm not trying to get puns here.
Bullseyes.
Yeah, to backup wide receivers. I forget who caught the ball in the end zone for their last touchdown, but that was an absolute laser. It was one of the backups. I know. I don't even want to take a guess on who it was, but you have Theo Johnson there. You have Darius Slayton. You have Wan'Dale Robinson. Like, it's good enough, and this Bears defense is just not good at all. So he's forced the hand. If he gets in the end zone once or twice on the ground, he's going to pay off this QB6 or QB4, whatever we have him ranking, and you'll be pretty happy to start him.
Yep, 100% on that. But at the beginning, how dare you besmirch the name of our Lord and Savior, Joe Flacco? If you really need him the last 3 weeks, doesn't matter who the defense is, 47, 34, and 47 pass attempts, QB6, QB7, QB2, 3, 2, and 4 touchdowns, even snuck one in on the ground. Joe Flacco has been absolutely balling. He gets the week off. He's got a bye week.
Deserved.
But then comes back in week 11, rested, fully healthy against Pittsburgh again. He was a QB6 against Pittsburgh a few weeks ago. Now, Pittsburgh changed. We were on the show yesterday with Jamie and Steve. Steve's talking about how Pittsburgh, they brought in Kyle Duggar after that game. They completely changed their defensive scheme because they're like, how the hell did this happen against Joe Flacco? But we'll see if it helps. I don't know. You mentioned the weapons. We know the weapons. I don't think it's going to be a very good day for that Pittsburgh D again. Let's talk about QB2s this week. Sam Darnold wanted to put him up in QB1, but you mentioned Walter Nolan and that Arizona defense looking great. So I'm a little tepid on him, but he's been fantastic and now has Rashid Shaheed running around, stretching that defense. He's at 13. We got Bryce Young, Justin Fields, Marcus Mariota, Tua Tagovailoa, Rodgers, McCarthy, Gabriel. Have him up a little higher than maybe I should, but who cares? Penix, Geno, Jordan Love, and Jacoby Brissett. You mentioned Geno. I got him all the way up at 22. What do you think of this list here?
Look, if you were mentioning the Pittsburgh defense, if there's one thing that strikes fear into Mike Tomlin, it's Joe Flacco. I swear, he has nightmares about that guy. It's weird. If you look at the press conferences, it's absolutely crazy. But yeah, I love the Dylan Gabriel ranking this week. I mean, who do the Jets have left?
Nobody.
Nobody. I mean, Sauce is gone. Quinn Williams is gone. They benched Quincy Williams, their all-pro linebacker, who's better than every other linebacker on the team. So they just got weaker at all three levels. So I think you have to rank Dylan Gabriel this high. I'd like him as a punt start if you desperately need one.
Yeah, agree.
Most of these are, we usually talk redraft one quarterback leagues. So, you could probably pick up a guy like you have higher, like Justin Fields or Aaron Rodgers or Marcus Mariota or Bryce Young. But man, the Jets are going to throw a stinker out there on Sunday. We already know it.
100%.
But is the point total going to matter, you think?
No, I think they're going to absolutely crush. I think it's probably it could be a Quinshon Judkins game, of course, but I think Dylan Gabriel can get there with his legs. Listen, in my Dynasty League, my home league, I have an offer out there for Harold Fannin. I offered, and I'm contending here, but it's non-tight end premium. I offered Travis Kelce and Noah Gray, Chimere DK, his choice of Chimere DK, Tez Johnson, or Parker Washington. And I'm swapping out a third for his fourth, so I'm giving him the higher pick. Do you think that's enough to get Fannin in non-tight end premium?
I mean, if he's competing, I like Travis Kelce as a buy, but it's that 37.5 point total kind of scares me a little bit. I mean, we saw it, what was it, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago they played the Dolphins? They just said, hey, Dylan Gabriel in the red zone, you don't exist anymore. They lined Quinshon Judkins up in Wildcat and just let him score every time. So,
crazy.
I mean,
that's true.
The weather conditions were kind of crazy for that game, so maybe that was a little bit of an outlier, But at the same time, it doesn't inspire confidence in the rookie quarterback, and Cleveland's a mess.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised to get Myles Garrett, but
listen, hey, it is what it is. I'm surprised too, but we'll see how the rest of it shakes out. Here's how the rest of it shakes out for us. After Brissett at 24 against a really rough Seattle D, even though Brissett's been great, you get Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Davis Mills, Tyler Chuck. I'm going to start calling him Tyler Chuck because that's what he's going to have to do in this game. But at Carolina, he's going to get crushed. And then whoever else might possibly play Max Browser. I have no idea why he's in here. Goodbye.
Yeah, they
what do you
in there?
What do you think about these last couple of guys? Would you play any of them in a pinch as like a QB2 in a super flex if you had to this week? Mac, Trevor, Davis, Chuck.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all in on Mac Jones out of this group of players very easily.
Yeah.
Them and the Niners and the Rams, we saw it, what was it, a couple of Thursdays ago? Absolute war on the football field. I don't think it's going to be any different. I think it's going to be a high scoring matchup. Their over-under is approaching 50, which when you're starting a quarterback in a game, you always love to see that.
Yes, this is true.
But, McCaffrey hasn't been effective as a runner. Did you see the tweet where they tweeted out the list of leading rushers on the season? It was like a list of like all the guys, and it had their longest runs. And everyone's like, does that say 19 for McCaffrey?
One thing I did hear somebody talking about is either Matt Waldman or Evan Silva, one of these minds, these great minds of fantasy, talking about the fact that when George Kittle has been back for 2 games and they're primarily using him as a blocker because they're trying to open things up for Christian McCaffrey, that's working now. Even the passing game, they're feeding McCaffrey. Eventually, it'll go back to Kittle kind of, coming off those blocks, running routes, and getting involved. But they really want to try to establish McCaffrey more. So just an interesting nugget there for you. George Kittle will come around, but they need to get that run game going if they want that offense to get going. And yeah, that's been a struggle at the moment.
Is it going to be Brock Purdy this week?
I don't think so, but this is what we're getting. This is what we're getting with these damn injuries. I think he practiced a bit last week as well. This is what we're getting with these injuries. These guys like appear at practice, and then it's all of a sudden on Friday, it's a surprise that they DNP and that they're likely out. So at least we're getting the news like a day or two before, as opposed to like 90 minutes before in most cases. But damn, yeah, these injuries, especially these running backs, man, like the Bucky, the Amarian Hampton, the Trey Benson, like when the hell are they coming back? I don't know. The DeAndre Swift stuff, like, I don't know, just weird stuff for the injury reporting this year. It feels different, but yeah, Brock Purdy's another one. Is he going to play this week? I would say no.
Soft benching's all the rage, Jeremy.
Yeah, but you're not soft benching Brock Purdy for Mac Jones. The reason that the offense isn't working is because of Mac Jones. I mean, listen, no hate to him. He's resurrected kind of a backup career here for himself, but he's not Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy somehow, the Mr. Irrelevant is somehow much better than, the 10th overall pick in the draft from a couple of years ago.
Like 15th or something. But yeah, Mac Jones has locked himself in for a backup gig for the rest of his career. So I got hats off to that. I mean,
100%. Yeah. Collect that money and not that CTE. We're going to move on to our running back ranks. We got Jonathan Taylor here. The question is he number one? And the answer is no, not for me anyway. Let's take a look at it here. Of course, you got James Cook. What a matchup. He's got to play this week. He's questionable, as you can see. And, we're not sure if that's going to be the case. People are running out to pick up Ty Johnson.
He practiced today.
So that's good news at least. But he's my number one against Miami if he goes. Then you got Jahmyr Gibbs. You got Achane, of course, in that same game. Jonathan Taylor at 4, just a tougher matchup against Atlanta. But look, maybe he doesn't score 3 touchdowns this week, coming off a really down game. I think they bounce back, but it's a really tough matchup for them this week. You got McCaffrey at 5, Dowdle, Bijan, Barkley, Kyron, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, and Ashton Genty rounding it out. I think you mentioned you had Genty at 13 or 14. I have him right there with you at about 12. You can't discount the player, but you can discount the matchup of the situation. Rough for him. Here's our top 12. What do you think?
Yeah, I couldn't get on board with James Cook at 1. I couldn't get on board with Jonathan Taylor at 1. I have Christian McCaffrey at 1.
Yeah.
I mean, his workload has been absolutely insane, and I got to look it up, but I remember at the half of the last game against the Rams, he was getting hyper targeted. He had like 6 or 7 receptions, and of course he cooled down, but I think he got in the end zone twice. So he's been successful against the Rams throughout his career. I'm in on that matchup. I tend to rank matchups higher in the week when I look at the over-unders. Like I'll discount the Browns and Jets, who are, projected 13 total points under what the Rams and 49ers are. So I'll kind of boost those players up a little bit.
Yep.
I couldn't get there with Kyron though, but I have him at 11. But yeah, outside of that, it all looks remotely the same. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs I'm a little lower on just because I think Jared Goff's absolutely going to crush, and I think he's going to take away a lot of that. People are panicking about Jahmyr Gibbs on the timeline. Please don't do that unless you're in my leagues. No. Please do that. But they were quoting his yards per carry or whatever, and how it's down. He's just been getting more work. That's how it works. But Rico Dowdle is the one I'm concerned about on this list. He missed yesterday with the quad, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it was a quad. I got to double check that.
He's set to smash too. That is a damn shame.
Yeah, it's a quad.
Let's hope that Rico can go. Jamie has Jonathan Taylor higher than number 1.
That's fair.
I love that. How can you not? No Kittle to block for CMC the last time. Yep. So that's a good point by Trone that we were just talking about a few minutes ago. At the same time, the Rams have been kind of a pass funnel because they have given up the least amount of fantasy points to the running back position, whether by design or just because they're so stout up front. But then you do not want to face this defensive line in pass rush situations either. So the Rams are really rough. I think Mac Jones is in for it. But one way to kind of get around that is to, like you said, check down to CMC. So we'll see how it goes here. But yeah, I'm not super hopeful at the same time. Yeah, he's not my number one. At the same time, he's going to volume his way to a top 6 finish for sure.
He rushed 22 times for 57 yards against the Rams, so he found absolutely no success. Did it all through the air, 8 receptions, 82 yards, and a touchdown.
Love that. Yeah, I would expect similar things. George Kittle doesn't fix this offense against one of the best lines in the league, but it is a very good point that George Kittle has been used primarily as a blocker these last few weeks. Let's look at the RB2s here. We got Dobbins at 13, great matchup. We'll see how much RJ Harvey is being used, but I have him here at 18. So I am, I think the efficiency in terms of scoring touchdowns continues. Hopefully he gets a little bit more run. We will see. Jaylen Warren at 14, QJ at 15. I think I might need to move QJ up into RB1 stat territory. We'll see here in a minute. Got Breece Hall in the same game at 16. Kamani Vidal at 17. Harvey at 18. Travion Henderson. This is assuming no Ramondre. We'll see. Travion at 19. I have high hopes, obviously, this week. Etienne at 20. Monty, Monangai, Singletary, Charbonnet. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, there's some guys that you have ranked that I just didn't rank at all. Like, I didn't bother to put in Bucky Irving. I don't know when he's going to play. I mean, It's so rough. I have Monangai in the 30s back-to-back with DeAndre Swift because I think Swift's going to play. It's just, like you said about the injury report things, it's just so up and down and wacky. But
it's crazy.
The one thing, I have him in the same spot that you do, don't get me wrong, or pretty close. I have him higher. I have Kamani Vidal at 16. You have him at 17.
Yep. I
really kind of want to move him down. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking where Pittsburgh is allowing points to running backs. They've been pretty good. The Kamani Vidal is every other week experience at this point. I don't know if you saw that. It's like 3 points, 18 points, 5 points, 20 points. So like, Vidal, the Steelers defense looked great last week against the Colts.
Yeah,
they shut them down. TJ Watt looked great. So I really want to move him lower, and I think I'm gonna. It's just I'm very concerned about Vidal after that.
It's just interesting things with the Steelers. Number one, Alex Highsmith is back. That obviously helps that front. Number two, they got Kyle Duggar, and Steve Huntgartner was talking about this on the IDP show with Jamie yesterday, is they started using Kyle Duggar and changed the way that they use coverage. And even though they're kind of doing still operating with a single high safety, they're kind of using Duggar in this hybrid position to kind of help on the back end. That's kind of, and it worked, obviously. They totally confused Daniel Jones. They also pressed Daniel Jones. This was a nugget I heard today on a podcast. It was probably Evan Silva, that Daniel Jones threw 3 interceptions, and largely because he was confused by the fact that the Colts have been very successful this season on play action on first down, obviously, right? Jonathan Taylor is a threat. The Pittsburgh was like, we're not buying any of that. They expected the play action on first down, and they rushed the crap out of him on first down, kind of assuming passing situations. So, I don't know that necessarily continues. I don't know if they're going to find whatever that loophole is they found last week, this week. But yeah, that Pittsburgh defense is starting to feel like it's coming around. We'll see if they're able to generate pressure. We know the Chargers are super banged up, so much so that they traded for a failing guard, tackle, whatever you want to call him, and Trevor Penning, and trying to see if they can resurrect him because there's nobody left there to block for Justin Herbert.
Yeah, it's really rough there with, Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater both being down. But yeah, Vidal had the absolute smash spot last week and put up 3 half PPR points.
Yeah.
It's not going to get any easier than the Titans. I mean, the Dolphins, and I think, did they play them already, I believe? Yeah, they did. And he finishes RB7 on the week. So,
yep. Yeah.
You got to capitalize when you can, and he could have last week, and he just didn't.
Yeah, fair enough. Evan, I see your question. Give us about 90 seconds here. We're going to wrap up running back, and then we will get into your question here. Let's talk about these RB3s. We got Tyrone Tracy, Kamara, Aaron Jones. Obviously, these guys are also questionable. We'll see if they play. Bucky Irving, probably not going to play. Jordan Mason, all the way down. I do not like this matchup, even though the metrics tell us I should Baltimore's a healthy defense now. Be careful. Even though Mason is going to get all the volume with Aaron Jones likely out, you got Walker White. Isaiah Davis is interesting to me. Chubb, Big Bam Knight, Bashal Tootin, and Chuba. Chuba might have to skyrocket if Dowdle misses. What do you think about the RB3s?
Look, there's some guy in the bottom of your screen that I have in RB3 territory, and his name is Terrell Jennings.
Woo. I like it.
I mean, Mike Vrabel, man, he does not like
hate
playing
it,
rookies. When Terrell Jennings scored, it was quite the moment on fantasy football Twitter because everyone was losing their minds and they were like, "Oh man, how much does he really hate TreVeyon Henderson?" TreVeyon Henderson still had a good game. He's up at 17 for me. It's kind of feels like I want to move him down as well. But you mentioned Isaiah Davis. You know, I have him at RB3 as well. He played great against the matchup. He should have played great in with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep.
But man, oh man, does it just feel like Brees could just be like, "Hey guys, I really don't want to play this year." I mean,
yeah. I mean, talk about soft benchings, right? He might soft bench himself.
Players don't typically do that, but I'm just saying, like, he is very disgruntled. He was DMing some people. It was very obvious that he was DMing said people and releasing rumors about how he wanted to get out. The Chiefs we were this close, Jeremy, this close to him being
a fourth instead of a third.
That's where they draw the line. They paid a third for Kadarius Toney, who then beat my Eagles in the Super Bowl with 2 touchdowns. Let's not talk about that. But
fair. Yeah,
that's where they draw the line. They pay one for Kadarius Toney, but not Brees Hall.
Crazy. Listen, if Garrett Wilson misses this game, I might move Isaiah Davis up. They don't really have anybody else. But if Garrett Wilson plays, I might move him down. This is kind of the average of what I'm expecting. I don't know what to expect with Garrett Wilson. I'm assuming out, but we'll see. But like you said, they're going to use Isaiah Davis. They've proven that. So we will see against Cleveland. They're going to need the pass game out of the backfield. So we'll take a look. Here's the rest of the guys. Any names tickle your fancy here? Woody Marks, Algier, Big Bill, Jakari Krosky Merritt. Hell no for me. Emmanuel Wilson against your Eagles. Sean Tucker may be interesting, but not a fantastic matchup. Any of these other guys here, Swift all the way down to 54. If he plays, obviously he's going to skyrocket up. I don't think so. What do you think about these guys?
Yeah, I'm not going to mention DeAndre Swift because obviously if he plays, he's going to be up 30 spots. But I want to mention Tank Bigsby. Man, oh man, did he look good. And, you know, Saquon, they said he was going to play if, you know, the game was close. The game against the Giants was not close, obviously. Then they had their bye week, so he has time to heal up. But Tank Bigsby made a very, you know, strong, well, what would you say, you know? I'm trying to think of a word. Yeah. For, you know, case for playing time.
Yeah.
He was averaging like 10 yards a run at a point there. He looked really good. He had that 3rd and 8, what was it, that 3rd and 20 or like 3rd and 18 where they called inside zone and he bounces the outside and got it. Like, he's making some case for some playing time. And if Saquon Barkley ever had to miss time, you know, with the groin injury that he has now or something down the line, I think it'd be pretty hard not to rank Tank Bigsby close to an RB1 behind this offensive line.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. I think you can rank anyone close to an RB1 behind this offensive line. That's kind of the problem here, except for A.J. Dillon, who is awful. But look, Tank looked good. We were high on him preseason, assuming he was going to have the Bashal Tootin role there, who has it in Jacksonville, and they shipped him off pretty early this season. So I don't mind Tank Bigsby. I just don't trust Philadelphia to do anything of, you know, with rationale and consistency in that particular offense. They don't seem to know what the hell's going on. I said this on the show yesterday with Jamie. I said the Philadelphia Eagles are so bad for how good the Philadelphia Eagles are. Like, it's just ridiculous how the season, how the offense, how things have been running out. You know, Saquon not really coming, you know, and getting consistently elite volume. AJ Brown up and down and hurt. You know, all of these, Jalen Hurts forgetting how to throw downfield. Not that he was prolific at it, but just it has been awful for them. They really need to figure it out and get it together, because right now, for me, they're not the front runner in the NFC.
Yeah, they are for me still. Their additions, maybe that might be a little bit of a homer take. I mean, Seattle made quite the strong case on Sunday night. I mean,
Rams. I mean, there's a couple teams with good offenses and good defenses in that NFC now. The Rams and Seattle are both high on my list.
but they got the win over the Rams already. The Rams had that big choke at Lincoln Financial Field a couple weeks back. Seattle has Philadelphia's number historically, so I'm nervous about that. But even with Tank Bigsby, I still want good pieces on offenses that move the football. We don't know how Philly's going to move the football each and every week, but we know they're likely going to move the football.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing with it. I mean, of course, they had those stinker of a games against the Broncos where Devontae Smith was the only one that got there. The Giants, I mean, AJ Brown got there.
Yep.
Or no, that was a Saquon Barkley game, my bad. AJ Brown was the Vikings the week before that. Devontae Smith also got there in that game. Saquon was the one that sat out. Dallas Goedert's been putting up a couple tight end one finishes, so you don't know where the ball is going, but it's going somewhere. It's going to be good. So
yeah. So we'll see after the bye. Hopefully they figured it out. We'll find out. Evan, sorry, it was a little longer than 90 seconds. Hopefully you stuck with us.
You mentioned my Eagles. I'm sorry.
Pick 2 half PPR. We got Trey Tucker, Jerry Jeudy, Bam Knight, and Mark Andrews. Let's order them here 1 through 4. Ryan, who do you like best to worst?
Tucker, Andrews, Jeudy, Knight.
Yeah. Oh, Jeudy overnight. I don't know if I can go that far.
Look, Bam Knight has been not great. He had an excellent spot against Dallas, and they were actually leading in that game as well. I mean, Jacoby Brissett did get that QB sneak at the 1, so
yeah.
Little bit of a not so great run out, but
what I'll say about Bam Knight is in the second half, Arizona was up considerably, and they kind of went to full Amari DiMercato. I don't know why that is. I'm not going to speculate, but I will say Bam Knight was the 2-minute back at the end of the first half when the game was still close and he was catching passes out of the backfield. So look, I still don't know what the hell is going on. We need Trey Benson back so we know what the hell is going on in this backfield. It's tough to say, but I'm not ready to crown Amari DiMercato. Michael Carter is probably going to be active for this game. Going to have Bam Knight. It's just going to be a whole mess. But I'm still playing him over Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy it's just not going to happen for him in the outside with Dylan Gabriel.
I don't like either of them. I mean, the choice is pretty obvious here. You hope Trey Tucker hits the long ball, and you hope Mark Andrews. I didn't like 100%. His targets last week. Obviously, they were effective because they scored touchdowns on those targets, but
yeah.
They're going to be higher quality targets than Jerry Jeudy's going to get. So
100%. Yep. Yeah, I will also go Trey Tucker and Mark Andrews. I agree with you, Ryan. It's pretty easy here. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be this easy when Jerry Jeudy is in the conversation with these guys because I think the talent is there. He's not elite like we expected, but I think he's good.
He's running routes.
I think he's good, but it doesn't matter. With this offense and with these quarterbacks that they have left in Cleveland.
Gotta be ridiculous, right?
I'm sure. Let us know. But I don't want to put Jerry Jeudy's name on the screen anymore. What do you got?
Routes run.
Damn. Yeah, it's
He's
really
behind
ugly.
Andre Yoshibas, which is kind of surprising too, not gonna lie.
Well, I think Yoshibas caught a touchdown or two the last couple of weeks. Jeudy's stressed, but trust him over Bam. It doesn't matter. I think we only need to start 2, right, Jamie? I hear you, but no. I can't do it. And this is the Jerry Jeudy hater over here in Jamie. Maybe Cedric Tillman comes back. Probably not this week, but actually, I think he might be back this week. But Cedric Tillman comes back. Maybe he opens things up by stretching the field. I doubt it.
It's a small gap between Trey Tucker and Mark Andrews, and it's a huge gap to Jerry Jeudy.
Agree. Tyrone Force need 2 wide receivers and a flex in full PPR. So hard to trust Nico right now. Debo, Devonta Olave, and Jaylen Warren. I think Jaylen Warren is pretty clearly the flex. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I have an RB10 this week.
Yep. So Warren, you're playing Tyrone Force. Now we need 2 wide receivers. It's probably not Nico with Davis Mills. It's probably not Devonta against Green Bay. I think I'm going Debo Olave. Who are you going?
I mean, I think I want to risk it for the biscuit with Nico Collins. Got 11 targets last week. I mean, it's going to be.
But what do you do with them? What do you do with them?
They didn't do anything with them, but I don't trust Debo. I don't trust Debo at all with Marcus Mariota. I just don't think he's quite there yet. I mean, I might roll the dice on Devontae Smith. I have him up at 13. So if I had to pick, it'd probably be Devonta and Nico. I don't feel good about Nico. I feel pretty decent about Devonta, though.
Yeah, but you're not going to go Chris Olave? Talk about volume.
I think the volume has been better for Devontae Smith, you're getting targets from Jalen Hurts. Targets are better than Tyler Shutt targets.
This is true, but
And the past two weeks,
JC Horn.
the past 2 weeks, he's been putting up numbers. He had 9 targets against the Giants, 11 against the Vikings. Obviously, the wide receiver 1 finished against the Vikings. So Chris Olave, I don't know what to think about him. I mean, Shaheed's gone. He's going to get all the volume, but is it going to matter? I don't know.
Well, he's also going to get the JC Horn treatment this week.
It
might be Jawan Johnson with 20 targets this week. Maybe Kamara comes back. Maybe we should be trading a third for Alvin Kamara these days. Damn. Yeah, this is not fun. I'm still not trusting Nico with that quarterback situation. I'm going to go Debo, and it's a toss-up for me between Devonta or Olave. You say Devonta?
Yeah, I have
over
him.
Olave. Yeah. All right.
I think the passing rate for the Eagles has increased majorly. I don't know if Kevin Matula means to do that or not. The expected pass rate just been going way up, and I'll take the second option of that offense.
Yeah, and even if Saquon plays, he's still hobbled for sure. So, okay. I'll go Debo, Devonta. You got to play Jalen Warren. But yeah, Debo, I think, and Devonta Smith. Go for it, Trone Force. Yeah, trade Nico for an RB upgrade. Agree with that 100%. Do it quickly. Who knows how long CJ Stroud will be out with this concussion. No.
Really?
No way.
No, he did have an RB7 finish.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for last week.
In redraft, right? There's no way you can do that.
No, not Dynasty, no.
No, in redraft. Can you get you got to aim lower. Can you get Kyron Williams?
I think that might be aiming higher for me. I mean, Kyron Williams maybe if the manager is kind of doubting, but he is coming off a RB6 finish, so like it's really tough. Like you want someone that's coming off a dud that's going to produce.
You need like Javonte. You need to go get Javonte coming off a dud, and he's on bye this week.
I agree.
Maybe that's the way to go. Cool. All right. We're moving on. Let's get to wide receivers. We got Puka. Is he the guy we want to trust as the number one? No. I have my number 2. Number 1. Where is he? Amon-Ra St. Brown. You mentioned the matchup earlier. I think Jared Goff has a great week as well. Amon-Ra is absolutely going to cook Washington. I have ranked all of the Detroit playmakers very, very high. If I scroll down slightly, you'll see Jameson Williams is a wide receiver 2 for me, but he's only at wide receiver 24 because I think Amon-Ra eats this week. But we got Puka at 2, JSN at 3. Can't push him down too far. Drake London coming off a great game and playing against Sauce Gardner, but Sauce Gardner joining a new team. So he's at 4. Justin Jefferson, Egbuka, Waddle, Adams, Odunze. I trust him this week against the Giants if he plays. Lab McConkey, Cortland Sutton in a great matchup. Big bounce back for him. A.J. Brown, we need these guys to play, but if they do, this is the top 12. What do you think?
Look, I wanted to rank Amon-Ra St. Brown at 1 so bad. I couldn't, but I might switch it because I'm going against him in my home league this week. And, shout out, I've been getting 180 put on me for the past 3 weeks in a row. It's rough out. It's rough in these fantasy streets.
Really
I have JSN at 1 just because I think he's just the guy this year. He's getting an insane target volume share. Arizona, we said they're an improved defense, but are they really that good to stop this crazy Seattle offense? I don't know. Amon-Ra's at 2, Puka at 3, so not that far off there. I want to move Devontae lower. I'm at 6, but Puka's injury shouldn't be concerning. We'll see about that one. And then we really, differ here at the bottom here. I have AJ Brown a little higher, Puka a little lower. I have Rome at 7. I feel like we need to talk about him after last week. There was 89 total points scored, and he had a donut in fantasy. So, that is not encouraging.
Again, this is the thing. So DJ Turner has been elite in coverage. He's the one thing about that Cincinnati defense that has been doing something positive. Cincinnati, if you look at it over the last month, has limited number 1 wide receivers. Of course, every other player goes off, but the number 1 wide receiver struggled. This is why DJ Moore worked himself wide open. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and just call that what it was. against the New York Giants, Roma Dunze is not going to find trouble. And I think the squeaky wheel, even though he's not squeaking, but everybody in the media is squeaking, what happened to Roma Dunze? I think the squeaky wheel gets the oil this week. They're going to feature him. His dad has been squeaking. That's for sure.
He did drop that touchdown, though. That is worth mentioning. It wasn't the best pass in the world.
Listen, if you got Caleb Williams throwing you the football, a drop isn't necessarily what a drop.
I mean, he was
is.
out there catching touchdowns this week.
Yeah,
he had 2 more catches than Rome.
I would chalk Rome. He did. I would chalk Roma Dunze up for 1 touchdown, potentially 2 touchdowns this week. I think he gets back in the column pretty easily against the New York Giants, especially if they're struggling with health in the running back room. I know Manungai was limited. He was listed with a quad. I know Swift has been limited. He didn't play last week. Roshan has been limited because he's awful. They tried out 4 running backs this week. So they're struggling there. They might be chucking the ball 60 times in this one, but they're going to be able to against the Giants secondary. So I'm not so worried about it. I think Roma Dunze gets a ton of volume. Let's look at the wide receiver 2s here. We got Pittman at 13. Tough matchup, but he's been fantastic. So we'll see who wins out there. Nico at 14. Probably going to have to move that man down. We just talked about it. Devonta Smith, Steph Diggs, very high on him this week. I think he scores again. Tet, Debo, DK Metcalf, Marvin Harrison Jr. looked fantastic last week. Just draws a tough one against Seattle, who's mostly healthy in the secondary. Zay Flowers, DJ Moore once again. Chris Olave all the way down at 23 this week because of the matchup. And JMO at 24. Wide receiver 2s, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we've talked about Marv because he looked great. Yeah. I mean, his dad,
awesome.
Day of the game was not happy with the Cardinals. And of course, he comes out and, man, that slant in the end zone on Deron Bland. Yeah. Ooh, he put him on the ground. That was impressive.
Both of those ankles.
But I have him at 27 just because this matchup is, coming off a positive game. Seattle is the last team you want to see against you in the secondary.
100%.
They're so deep. I mean, Tariq Woolen wasn't even starting for them, and he could be a Pro Bowler on some of these other teams with his, height, weight, speed, and his coverage skills. So I have him down there, but man, it's encouraging, and he's going to be right up in my borderline wide receiver 1, wide receiver high end 2, low end 1 next week.
Yeah, that's fair. The only thing is in Seattle is Julian Love is out. They're playing a guy named Ty Okada, who's fine.
He looked good.
He had a pick. Yeah, I think he
had that was a crazy pick.
Yeah, but he's not Julian Love, so we'll see. Maybe he's a bit better in coverage. That's possible. But I think MHJ is going to be the guy, probably even more so over McBride this week. If I had to choose between the two of them,
Jones did have an injury though, so
that's true. We'll see if he plays. It is spotty for sure. That's a good point. Let's look at the wide receiver 3s. We got Addison. Love the player. Do not love the quarterback or the Baltimore defense that appears to have figured it out, even though they just dealt Jair Alexander. Wandale, 26, might have to move him up for this game. We just talked about Chicago going off. The Giants can respond. Troy Franklin at 27. I need to move all these guys up, maybe. Shakir at 28. Dobbs, Jennings, Pierce, Wilson, Allen, Tez, Parker, and Rashid Shaheed. I'm going to move Rashid Shaheed down. I just think his first game, I want to wait a little bit. We'll move him down a few
We're going to wait. He's catching a 70-yard deep ball.
100%.
Two routes run.
Yeah, 2 catches, 2 routes run, 2 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. What are you thinking here about the wide receiver 3s?
Yeah, I love Wandale this week. I mean, you said you wanted to move him up. I have him up at 17. I think.
I'm not going that high, but I will.
It's a little high. It's a
push
little
him
bold, but
a few spots right now. There we go.
Look, the Chicago defense they can't cover anybody.
Awful.
I mean, they're giving up the second most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers, and you got to think, what wide receivers are really out there for the Giants? Darius Slayton, Theo Johnson's at tight end is going to catch some passes, but it's going to be the Wandale show. So I'm going a little too high probably on this one, but yeah. And then another one I like is Romeo Dobbs. They have to replace Tucker Kraft, and it's not going to be easy. He was the guy there, but all the red zone volume, is probably going to go to Romeo Dobbs. He was second in targets in the red zone. Tucker Kraft had 12. He was one of the league leaders. It's all going to go straight to Romeo Dobbs in the red zone now. So I think we have to account for that a little bit.
That's fair, but don't you think your boys are going to take care of Romeo Dobbs and just let everyone else do whatever the hell they want because they don't really have anybody else on that level?
I mean, I have him at 24 this week, so it's not like I'm overranking him or anything. When he gets lighter matchups, he's probably going to get the Quinyon Mitchell treatment, and Quinyon Mitchell's been absolutely fantastic. So I might move him down.
Yeah.
But the week after he gets the Giants. So.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Listen, I agree with you. Luke Musgrave, for me, I've picked him up in a lot of places. I will not start him this week against the Eagles, but I want him for the future. I do not think he will be Tucker Kraft, though. You just can't replace that level of talent. And Musgrave is not that. He's more of a blocker, but can catch the football. He's more of like a Jake Ferguson type of player, and you're hoping on a touchdown. So you're feeding Romeo Dobbs. Hopefully Christian Watson can figure it out. Hopefully Matthew Golden can get healthy. We'll see how it goes. But Watson got fed. It's encouraging. I'm just not ready to kind of plug him in right away and set it and forget it against the Eagles.
Yeah, we'll see with Jaden Reed coming back as well, because he's getting close. Yeah. I don't think he's quite there yet, but he's getting there.
I think we got 2 weeks. I think we got about 2 weeks, but I agree with you. That will be nice to see when it happens. Let's talk about our wide receiver fours and then the rest. We'll just go to 50 here, and then anyone else you like. But you see the names. There's a guy we just mentioned, Christian Watson at 27. We got Ricky Pearsall in there. Is he going to play? Probably not. We got Jacoby Myers in there. Is he going to play enough? We'll see. We got Torrey Horton in there with Rashid Shaheed, Kendrick Bourne. Pop Douglas probably needs to move up with no booty action, as Jamie loves to think of it. But any of these names, any of these guys kind of getting you excited this week? Who would you start from this list here in a pinch?
I mean, it's got to be Demario Douglas. It's got to be Pop Douglas.
Yeah.
He's the only one that kind of, he's producing, booties out, like you said, and Stephon Diggs has had an up and down season. So you don't know what's going to happen with against Tampa. Like I said, I'm a little lower on Drake May, but Demario Douglas, he's proved he could do it in a pinch. I was looking at Matthew Golden, but he's been running more routes from the slot, and I don't like him against Cooper DeJean. Granted, they don't put him out there outside this week. Who knows what's going to happen with the corner depth they've acquired. But I thought he was still a little too low. And then as, a little bit of a dart throw, I like Pat Bryant. He did get 3 targets last week. He didn't score, but he scored the week before. So he's a touchdown or bust guy down here.
No, I like that. Mims already ruled out as well. So Pat Bryant is interesting. One more name I'll throw out. Well, 2 more names, I guess, looking at this list. The first one, of course, is Malik Washington. We saw him kind of disappear really last week, but against Buffalo, I mean, you can do a lot of things against that Buffalo secondary from the wide receiver position. So I think he's sneaky. I think it's a sneaky game for Tua as well. He's got, he's someone that you can start in a pinch in 2 quarterback leagues if you have to this week against Buffalo. And then, down the bottom of the list, Calvin Austin against the Chargers. That could be interesting if he's healthy and he goes. As long as Darnell Washington doesn't take everything like he's been doing, these tight ends going off in an Arthur Smith offense, so led by Aaron Rodgers. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, here we are. Rashad Bateman, maybe he catches a touchdown again this week as well. We will see. Let's get to this question, though. Ishan, appreciate you asking us the question. Appreciate you joining us. Ryan, what do you think about this in full PPR? His tight ends are Tyler Warren, Oronde Gadsden, and Colston Loveland. Would you trade Warren for any 2 of Rome, Keenan, Olave, Marv, Pearsall, and Higgins? He's got Ladd, Tet, DJ Moore. So I'm assuming, Ishan, and maybe you can drop this in the chat here. I'm assuming we're talking dynasty or crazy tight end premium in redraft, because if that's the case, then can you get 2 of those guys? I don't know. But maybe we'll say, you definitely should trade one of your tight ends, and you definitely should go after these guys. But I think you're just going to be able to pull a 1-for-1 sort of deal here because we're going across position, and I'm not really assuming a premium. I'm assuming redraft here. So correct me if I'm wrong, Ishan. But Ryan, let's talk about it. Which one of these 3 tight ends are you most willing to deal given their value currently and what you kind of want to keep on your team, and who do you think you can go after given that guy's value?
Man, it's really tough. I think I'm keeping Gadsden for sure. He's developed a big role. Tyler Warren has been kind of creeping down my rankings as of late. They haven't been getting him as involved. I thought this week, the homecoming in PA and everything, the whole dream scenario was going to play out for him. We saw what Tucker Kraft did to them.
It's not Dynasty. Makes a lot more sense. It is that. Oh no, it's not Dynasty. It's not Dynasty.
So is this other manager offering you, two of one of these guys, or are you just going for just straight up trade? Because if I could trade Tyler Warren for Rome Odunze and Marvin Harrison, I would have sent that week.
Yeah, 100%.
2 weeks ago.
Let's create a reasonable trade for Tyler Warren. Let's assume the other manager obviously really likes Tyler Warren or is in need of a tight end. Just lost Tucker Kraft, is in need of a tight end, perhaps. What do you think is a reasonable get for Tyler Warren, assuming that Tyler Warren is still the same guy that we saw at the beginning of the season?
I think it's Rome. I think you got to shoot for the highest one that's right there.
That's fair.
Plus he's coming off a dud as well. Like,
yeah.
I don't like his stats post buy, but at the same time, you're kind of buying low a little bit.
Yeah. And T. Higgins is going to be valued higher this week because he just went off last week and now he's got to buy. Pearsall, I think, is an interesting name, but we just don't know. Brandon Ayuk's 21-day window was activated today. So that's an interesting nugget also from San Francisco. So this kind of confirms our suspicions here. He really wants Tyler Warren, values him more than Gadsden and Loveland in redraft. Hey, to each their own. I hear you. I think we both value Gadsden in redraft over these two other guys. But maybe you can get Rome and Marv. Do you think that's possible?
I'm shooting for it. I was going to say that if he insults you, so be it. It might be a little bit of an over ask, but if he really needs a tight end, he really wants one of the top tight ends on the season, make them pay for it.
Hang on.
That's what I'm saying.
Trade Tyler Warren. And trade Tyler, offer Tyler Warren for Roman Marv. He's going to be like, no way, that's too much. Oh, okay. I'll throw in DJ Moore off of DJ Moore's good game to go get Rome and Marv. Gotta love that, right?
Gotta love that. And then you start at the top with these people and you work your way down. It's just how it's done. And
you're like, well, yeah, you can be like, well, Tet hasn't really scored. You probably don't want Tet. DJ Moore, though, coming off a really good
that end
game.
Around?
Yeah, he might be, he's throwing touchdowns. He might be the wide receiver one in Chicago. Interesting. Yeah,
it's a slippery slope. Don't get me wrong. We're doing that in trades.
Or all right, but he says no, ridiculous. I don't want DJ Moore. It's Rome. Then be like, okay, I'll just take Marv for Warren straight up. We're okay with that as well.
I think I'm okay.
Would I do that? Yes. Would I do that? Yes. Would he do that? I don't know.
I think that trade would widely get accepted if he really needs tight end help.
Yeah. So hey,
I think you start with Rome and Marv, throw him back DJ Moore if you have to, like we said. Step 1, step 2, go through the motions.
Yeah. Be like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. Just seeing how you feel.
Just seeing how you're feeling. Test the waters a little bit, and then go down to someone like Marv and Olave, or Marv and T. Higgins, or Roman Olave.
Yeah.
Just gradually work your way down, because it sounds like you have every bit of leverage in this situation. You got to
100% agree. Totally agree. And yeah, I'm happy to let go of DJ Moore if you're going to get two of these guys. The one guy I'm concerned about is Pearsall, although I am concerned about Keenan as well, especially with you having Gadsden. You don't really want to buy into another Chargers player, especially one who's not producing, and they just lost all their offensive linemen. So for me, I think, hey, I don't want to let go of Warren, but give me Roman Marv, right? And then he's like, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Well, all right, I get you. I guess I could throw in DJ Moore if he balks, fine. And then you say, oh, okay, all right, I get it, I understand. Look, I don't want to do it, but I'll send you Warren for Marv straight up. We'll call it a day.
We've walked through every step. This is every DM. This is how every DM works out.
Listen, this is your step-by-step trade process, Ishan. Let us know how it goes. We want to know how that process works out. Come back next Thursday and tell us how it goes. But for now, let's get into these tight ends. Let's see where we have them ranked, and we can kind of wrap it up quickly after that with DST and kickers. But the tight ends first. Here we go. Here they are. Dalton Kincaid. It's probably spicy. I don't care at 1. Oronde Gadsden. It's probably spicy. I don't care at 2. Pittsburgh's been horrible at covering the tight ends this year. We know they changed their defense a little bit, but you can't cover this guy. So I got Brock Bowers at 3 because of the defense he's facing. He's still a top 3 guy regardless. You're firing him up. Laporta, McBride, Kittle, Pitts, Fannin, Warren, Loveland, Goddard, and Hunter Henry rounding it out. What do you think?
Man, I feel lame compared to you this week. My tight end.
I'm spicy on the tight ends this week. I'm spicy.
I kept it Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, Oronde Gadsden. I didn't really see a reason to move them around. I mean, I get why you're doing that. I was 12th on redraft waivers this week in one of my leagues, and I picked up Dalton Kincaid. I didn't know how I did it. So I really like seeing that 1 ranking right there. I have him I have him down a spot from ECR to 8. I want to move him up actually because it's a saucy matchup, and he is the alpha in that offense. You know, he does have a few dud weeks here and there, but last week, man, against the Chiefs, he was just everything. 6 for 101 and a score. You know, you were disappointed against Carolina. He was coming off an injury the bye week. They blew them out. James Cook just said, "Good night." 200 yards.
Right.
But before that,
I don't think. But hang on, I don't think this completely applies to Khalil Shakir. But listen to these numbers just to kind of reinforce your point here. Miami gives up the 8th most fantasy points to the quarterback, the 6th most fantasy points to the running back, the 5th most fantasy points to the tight end, who we're talking about right now, and the 2nd least fantasy points to the wide receiver position. I think Dalton Kincaid crushes this week.
I mean, we just saw Mark Andrews dunk on them for 2 scores.
Yeah. Unreal.
So like, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. It's if this game turns into a negative game or a positive game script a little too
super
quick.
Positive. Yeah.
Super. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, like you said,
Yeah.
They blew out Carolina. They beat New Orleans. He only had 2 targets. They were up for most of that game, if I'm not mistaken. The Jets as well. He got a couple targets. It's more so if the game somehow keeps close, but it is encouraging because he did play Miami this season. We already have, a little bit of the framework for what we could expect to see. He had 5 or 66 and a touchdown. It's good for a top 3 finish on the week. I believe that's, I keep having this default to standard. It was top 3.5 PPR as well. So we've already seen him place top 3 against this team. So it's very encouraging. And I'm here for the spicy rankings. What can I say?
Tyler Warren this week as well. We know he's been down for kind of a couple weeks in a row here, but he gets the worst matchup for fantasy tight ends in the Atlanta Falcons. Billy Bowman's still out in covering the slot, but Xavier Watts has been a revelation there, and they're not allowing anything to tight ends. Just go take a look at the laundry list of tight ends that they face and the fact that they've allowed nothing. It's really, really impressive what they're doing to the tight end position, locking it down in the middle of the field. But Warren's still going to be targeted. So, he's all the way down at 9 for me and even above Colston Loveland after his massive tight end 1 performance. But, some of these other guys, I think George Kittle gets back in the good graces because they're going to have to throw. I think Kyle Pitts has a good game against that secondary. And then you see all the other names here. Let's look at the tight ends 2s quickly because we're running over due to all the great questions here that we've had. So thank you very much.
We love the questions. We will go over the questions.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Yeah, we'll go as long as we need to for the questions. I know it's getting late over there for you. So I could say that, but you can.
We're good. Theo at 13, Mason Taylor at 14, Juwan Johnson at 15. I might want to creep Juwan Johnson up into my top 12 this week. I'll think about it. Mark Andrews, Zach Ertz, Schultz in a really good matchup at 18. We'll see if Davis Mills likes to hyper target him or if he plays, even questionable tag. Cade Naughton, TJ Hawkinson, how the mighty have fallen. JJ McCarthy. How dare you? Evan Ingram, how the mighty have fallen. A great matchup. Tight end 21. They don't use him. Luke Musgrave, David Njoku, and Isaiah Likely. Tight end 2s. Anything to say at all here?
Look, I moved Jawan Johnson up to a tight end one as you were saying that, so thanks for that one. I have Greg Dulcich up at 20. I know it's a terribly hard matchup. The Buffalo Bills allow the second fewest fantasy points of the opposing tight ends, but there's always a role for Miami tight ends. We saw it last week, 5 for 49. No matter who plays in Miami, they're at least going to get some form of pass catching, and to get the tight end 20, tight end 28 where you have them, it's not going to take a whole lot.
Totally agree. Yep, I think that's a great call as well. Anybody else here other than Dulcich that you would play in a pinch if you needed to?
Elijah Royal, I hope he catches a touchdown.
Yeah, but wouldn't you say the same about AJ Barner? This is my concern with these two guys, is they're both good and they're both kind of capping each other's upside.
They're both good, but did you see that seam ball that Sam Darnold threw to Elijah Royal? Woo!
There was really nice play in that game where Barner's going down the seam and Arroyo, I got to go this way, and Arroyo is peeling off to the sideline, and he hit Arroyo down on the sideline. Just beautiful throw. Sam Darnold looks like every bit the quarterback that we expected him to be.
And AJ Barner gets the tush pushes too. If they ever, so that's a good shout by you, because if they get into that scenario with the tush push, Barner's getting the ball.
That's it, man. Did last week. All right. Yeah. Charlie Kolar is interesting. He gets utilized a lot because Baltimore. Terrence Ferguson is interesting because he plays well. But yeah, Darnell Washington is interesting. I'll move him up actually a few spots because, they use every single tight end in Pittsburgh. But otherwise, no, I don't really want to rely on these guys. Pat Freiermuth is probably a little bit too low. I got to put him over TJ Hockenson at this point. But otherwise, yeah, Luke Musgrave, just a rough matchup this week. I don't expect a ton from him, but I do expect him to do better than Evan Ingram. So I'll move him up slightly. But that's it for tight end.
Yeah, I can't wait to rank Terrence Ferguson as a tight end 1 next year. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, sir. Absolutely love that. Speaking of that, let's get to our final rankings. If you have any other final questions, please put them in the chat. We're going to wrap things up here in 5 minutes unless we get something from you. That's not a threat. That's a promise. We got the Cleveland Browns at 1, the Denver Broncos at 2. You just look who they're playing and you can automatically see why these teams are at the top. The Seahawks at 3, the Houston Texans at 4, Rams, Panthers, Bills, Jags, Lions, Colts, and Ravens, and then the Pats coming in at 12. Here are my sneaky guys. Defenses who are potentially on your wire, who you can go out and start this week. The Carolina Panthers at 6 because they're playing Tyler Shuck and the New Orleans Saints, absent Rashid Shaheed. The Buffalo Bills at 7 because they're a horrible defense, but they're playing Tua, so it's possible that they have a good game. And the Jacksonville Jaguars at 8. They're at least a little bit interesting. They've been great, and they're playing Davis Mills. Jags probably less available, but those 3 are potentially out there. And then you got the Colts. Atlanta disappears sometimes. Those guys could be available. Any other thoughts for you on potential streaming defenses or defenses that belong in this upper tier this week?
Yeah, I have the Eagles up almost my top 10. I want to put them up there. I think, that the loss of Tucker Kraft is going to matter so much. I mean,
this is a good point.
The Panthers is a good defense. We saw them struggle against the Panthers. I just don't think the Romeo Dobbs and the Matthew Goldens of the world are going to be enough to get it done against a tough Philly defense. I could be wrong. Yeah. Josh Jacobs still could be a little limited. He did get 17 carries last week, but I just think Green Bay could kind of throw up a dud on offense pretty easily.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. We'll see. I don't think Philly's going to integrate everybody that they just acquired, this past week and a half or whatever it was right away. But yeah, they're setting themselves up to have a really fearsome defense down the stretch here. Here's the rest of them. Let's look at the worst defenses on the week specifically. I think Minnesota absolutely gets torched by Lamar. Another 4-touchdown game incoming for him. You got Denver playing the Vegas, but the Washington Commanders, absent Frankie Louvu, who's been suspended a game for hip dropping everybody within his sphere. And then, of course, the fact that they just are awful and cannot cover a single person in that secondary. I think Detroit's going to score 50, 60 points this week.
Yeah. I agree. It's everyone's gonna get the rock. J-Mo's gonna score once. Amon-Ra's gonna score twice. Gibbs gonna score twice.
Don't forget
I
Sammy.
could easily. Yeah, they're all gonna get in the end zone. I love doing touchdown parlays with the Lions in weeks like this. I didn't hit it, but I did it with the Bengals, where it's like you pick everybody, you pick Monty, you pick Gibbs, you pick Amon-Ra, you pick Laporta or J-Mo, and just let it ride.
Yep. And you know what's crazy this week? It's with the Bengals out, with Dallas out, and with Tennessee out. We have 3 of these defenses we rely on to play our fantasy players against, and they're all on bye this week. So it's a little rough out in these streets looking for these locks. You know who are locks? You know who are locks these week? Detroit Lions players. Absolutely. Jamie, we know, man. We got to wrap it up. Listen, I'm not repeating that, but I get it. Listen, we're getting into the red here, or the pink, as Jamie likes to say, and we got to wrap things up. So we are going to wrap it up with our kickers, if I can find the tab and click the button. Do you have to play kickers? I hope not. But in case you do, here are the guys you should play. Chris Boswell all the way at 1. Michael Badgley at number 2, because that Atlanta D will allow Indy to move the ball, but probably won't allow him to score as much as usual. We got McLaughlin, Loop. We got some other guys in there. Fairbairn, I'm not sure that he's going to play this week. He's got an injury, so he may be coming off the board. But any other thoughts here? Pinheiro finally had a bounce back week after 2 weeks ago, kind of throwing up a dud, but he's been great. And then we got Cairo Santos should probably move up here. He will, because he's been crushing it because that Chicago offense has been moving the football. What do you think here about these kickers?
Yeah, I share, mostly the same sentiment with you. I have Josh Riccardi up there a little bit because of the high game total. I have Graham Gano if he plays up there with the high game total. I like domes and I like high point totals for my kicker rankings. And unless it's Chris Boswell, who, Mike Tomlin just never goes for it on 4th down, just kicks the ball the whole time. But
he does.
Try to get kickers out of your home leagues. I have tried to vote for the past 4 years. 4 years now. Every time it gets rejected, every year. But yeah,
I have one league with kickers. It is a dynasty league where I don't know anybody, and I joined it, 4 or 5 years ago during COVID. It's got kickers and defenses in it. It's awful.
It's brutal, man.
And I have a great team, and I'm like 3-6 in that league, largely because of the kickers and defense. That's what I'm going to say. That's at least my story. I'm sticking to that.
I like the coping method.
Listen, but that's enough of that. We appreciate all of you here for joining us on Adjust the Ranks, part of the double FU, the FU times 2, the fantasy football universe. We've got a Discord. You should join it. We've got a promo code. You should use it. We've got some rankings. You should check them out. They're on Fantasy Pros. They're here for you. Rewatch the show. Check it out. Let us know how you feel. We're live on TikTok every single day now. This guy, Ryan, is going to be live on TikTok 45 minutes before game time. It's myself. I was on the last couple of days. It's Jesse Moeller. We're doing start-sit stuff, but we're on every single day. I'm actually going to get off of here, work up a schedule graphic, and post it on TikTok for you, and probably on YouTube, so that you can see where we are, when we are, so that you can get on there and ask your questions. We appreciate all of you. If you're like Jamie, you're going on TikTok and you're dropping roses. We appreciate that out of you, Jamie. We appreciate everybody else. Maybe we'll even TikTok dance like 12-year-old girls. No, that won't happen. But we are doing our best to grow everywhere and anywhere. So thank you so much for joining us. If you like this content at all, if you are here at all watching us, please like and follow, especially on Twitter, especially on YouTube, especially on TikTok. We appreciate all of you. Ryan, anything else to say as Jamie besmirches TikTok one more time?
Oh, Jamie, what would we do without you? I don't know, but
love it.
Excited to watch the Lions score 70 points this weekend.
Yeah, but before you do that, watch Vegas score 7, but at least it'll be Brock Bowers.
We can only hope.
For this guy, I'm this guy. We are these guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
We say bye-bye, so long, see you later, take it easy, be cool, hang in there. You know what my favorite one is? Don't get run over. Well, some people need practical advice, you know?